So it's very simple, I think. Very simple.
Thank you so much again for taking time to meet with me.
Thank you.
This is the interview for Shondaland, as you know. Thank you for taking time to answer a few more questions. What do you want people to know about heartfulness?
That meditation is not very difficult. That spiritual life is possible while leading a day-to-day life, a normal life. That one don't have to, rather one doesn't have to fall at the feet of some unknown guru or a guide, but be guided by one's own heart. And later on, when you find the need, the guru will appear. But begin meditation somewhere, somehow, and heighten your level of discernment that whether this practice is right for me or wrong. This particular guide who is going to help me on a spiritual path is right or wrong. One should not start something out of greed or out of fear. Most of us, our childhood, we were told, believe in God, right? If you don't believe in God, and if you believe in God, certain good things may happen. And the whole impression had sunk in our subconscious so deeply that people go on believing and worshipping with no clues what they are doing. Like even if you ask, are your grandparents around? Right, they are passed on, right? But you ask someone who has crossed 90s or 80s even, and you ask them, do you believe in God? And you wait for their answer. Some people will say, I don't know. They are quite honest. People will say, I do believe. And the moment you ask a question, why do you believe? Then what will they answer? Those answers will be very intriguing. They say, oh, because there'll be a long pause. And they'll say, oh, my mom taught me this, or our community teaches this, our religion says so, our priest says so, so I believe in it. But what about you? Then they remain quiet, because though the knowledge is there, the backing of experience is absent. And that's what I try to convey, that experience. You may believe, it's okay, it's good to believe in something, but we have to prove it, either it is right or wrong, through a personal experience. In science also, we are brutal about hypothesis. We either prove it or disprove it mercilessly. We look at it from multiple angles. Why not spirituality also? It should not just remain a mere belief, mere faith, but it should be on the foundation of your own personal encounter. And that's what I'm trying to convey, that we are always on a spiritual flux. Either we evolve or we devolve. There is no static position. In nature, nature cannot tolerate that. It's just a natural principle. Either you go up or you go down. Anytime you want to go up, effort is required. Just as with gravitation pulls, you have to make an effort to, if you want to launch a satellite, you have to have its escape velocity, right? Likewise, to escape the inner gravitational pull, I call it as ego, self-centeredness. They're the most destructive one. And to rise above that pull of self-centeredness or ego, that gives birth to arrogance. We have to use some effort. I also like to convey that ego is also not that bad, though it can be disastrous. Mind also, many people have classified it as the biggest enemy, especially yogis. They say mind is your enemy. But through my own practice and encounters of many millions of people following Heartfulness, they say that ego can be your best friend. Mind also can be your best friend if you train them. Mind can be the biggest friend once your mind is refined and purified. And so is ego. For example, if you are a musician and you play a particular instrument, every day you practice and you have a moment to play in an orchestra and people are giving you a standing ovation. Great. Next day, similar performance, same tune, same classical music concert. Would you be happy with your yesterday's performance? You would say, oh, I like to do better than what I did yesterday. That's a sign of ego also, isn't it? Yes. I can be better than my yesterday's performance. But to think that I'm the best in the entire United States, no one is better than me, then there is a problem. That is arrogance. So it depends how we use our ego. And a meditative mind easily recognizes these particular aspects of our weaknesses, the wrinkles in our minds, in our consciousness. I think consciousness also can soar higher or it can dive deeper into doom, depending upon how we use our mind, ego, and intellect. Okay, when I transcend my mind through heartfulness way of meditation, you are able to transcend the mind. What does it mean when we say transcend the mind? Meaning, I progress from thinking faculty of the mind and surrender it to the feeling faculty of the heart. I think of God, for example, but to feel, now you have moved, you have evolved a little more. Right? So that is evolution of the mind to the heart, from thinking to feelings. Intellect-wise also, I can dissect intellectually various things. But a person like Einstein or such great minds, though they have intellect, but their wisdom, their intuitive abilities are so great, they don't dissect. They come to conclusion without dissecting. That's meditative mind. And such is ego also. Ego says me, mine, myself, I, me, mine. When we transcend the self, what happens? Thee, thine, and thou, the Lord. Now you have relegated yourself to the next one. And Lord becomes the center of your existence. The higher consciousness becomes the center of your existence. Divinity becomes the center of your existence. No longer the self. And selfless people centered around the source of all that exists, they cover everything. They become the center of everything. And hence the energy that emanates from such individuals is always positive. One simple thing, once we arrived at this desirelessness state that, or absence of self-imposition, I think that's as we say in baseball, you have hit the home run. And not only that, you have arrived home. When such is the condition within yourself, spiritual state or a level of consciousness, you can safely say, I have arrived home, my heart is pure, pure enough to invite divinity in my heart, pure enough to even allow the heavens to descend in my heart. There are no heavens that you physically go there to. There is no special, 10-star hotel. It's also a fabrication of the mind. Imagine what people from North Pole would think of heaven as. Nice and warm place. Huh? People in India or from Middle East would think of heaven as nice and cool, air-conditioned. So it's a fabrication, imagination of the mind that creates heavens. So the many things I have said in this book are quite, it makes you think and makes you wonder. And it helps us understand if you have a spiritual bent of mind and you are seeking something in an experiential way, then this is the book for you.
And it's that experience. It's not about just like faith and belief because someone told you to or you were raised that way. Like you could know for yourself.
Correct. In fact, belief is the biggest problem in life. I believe versus I see. Right? When I say I believe in God, and most of us rather, it's enough. To believe, we think it's enough. But what's the next step? Having believed in some higher force, are you ready to encounter that higher force? Are you willing to be one with that? Or you are here and that power is up there and we are separate entities. So belief gives us false satisfaction that I believe and that's all right. We end it there. We don't believe in clouds. We don't believe in stars. We don't believe in sun. Why? Because we see with our eyes. Same thing is with divinity, godliness. Once I perceive it, the question doesn't arise whether I should believe or not believe.
We were just talking about we don't believe in the clouds because we can see them. And it made me think of nature and how we don't have to like believe in anything. When you're in nature, you feel it. And here in Kanha, there's so much beauty around and you just feel that magic. Who should come here? Who should come to Kanha and why? Until they're all over the world, we have to come here. So who should come and why should they come?
Well, I first invite these real seekers, sincere seekers of spirituality. If you want to experience what you have heard all about gods and goddesses or God and divinity, or if you're scientific, if your mind is scientifically bent, then and you want to learn more about what is consciousness, how do you define this consciousness, how to see the ever-changing consciousness as we evolve through meditation. This is the place. Also a place for skeptics. Only when you encounter, then you will say, yes, there is. I can now come to a neutral section. I am no more a negative person saying nay, nay, nay. I have come to a neutral point. Neither believe nor not believe. Then some magical thing can happen. When you come to a neutral ground, then negotiations can start. Also, people who just like to enjoy nature, spend some time in absolute silence. For students, you can study here better. You want to contemplate on your research topic, this is the place. So it's for multitudes actually. And especially families with children, I would recommend them to bring children here and especially learn Brighter Minds program and polarity. If you are suffering with some level of health, we have wellness, natural healing, Ayurvedic center here. For farmers also, we have latest new techniques how to improve their crop yield organically without using much of this fertilizers and pesticides. If you had to use it, sometimes in exceptional situation, you have no choice but to use it. But there are many situations where we can avoid. Being a pharmacist, as I can say again, the prevention is the best medicine. And we teach that, how to prevent certain diseases before they ruin your crop. We are targeting education at multiple levels, not just spiritual. See. We also have a great endeavor or initiative through tissue culture, how to revive endangered species, red listed species, and see how we can protect them. Some trees, I was told that you may not be able to see after 5 years or 10 years. So we invite such individuals. Even if there are hundreds on the planet, let's make them in millions. So give us that genetic pool, we'll replicate it at no cost to you. Just identify it and bring it here. So many such initiatives are there. And we are also into research. How yoga changes our DNA. How yoga can help us conceive in a better way. I don't know if you're familiar with this book, Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. You must read it.
It sounds like I need to.
And he has done experiments on epigenetics. And it's so sophisticated. Epigenetics, it means how your genetic expressions are affected by the environment. And not just the external environment, but the inner environment is more crucial. And especially a mother who is about to conceive and going through that 9 months of pregnancy. That relationship between the fetus growing within and the mother. Because whatsoever mother goes through, little one also goes through that. If she is in a sympathomimetic mode, run, or fight or flight situation, the little one also feels that. If mother is in a parasympathetic mode, means restive and calm and composed, the little one also goes through the same feelings inside because the neurotransmitters in the brain circulates in mother's body and also passes into the placental barrier. It crosses and reaches the embryo. So he did some studies also that mothers to be in bad neighborhoods, right? They are usually in a greater mode of sympathomimetic mode, fight or flight situation where husband comes home with a gun in the house and slips the gun under the pillow. Imagine what goes through her mindset. There are always stress hormones in her, and that also affects a little one. Stress hormones means there is more blood supplied to your limbs. A sympathomimetic mode means either you run or you fight. Running requires more blood in your legs. Fighting requires more blood in your hands. And this diversion into limbs is not so simple. It is at a cost of supplying it to visceral organs and the brain. and especially the frontal brain, the thinking, cognitive brain. And he also studied mothers to be in harmonious families. And that's the exactly opposite thing happens in a more balanced way. And when you study such children over the years, you'll see the striking difference. More developed cognitive part of the brain, frontal cortex, versus less developed. Also, where the frontal cortex is less developed, the hindbrain, what they call amphibian brain,
Amygdala.
this one, the back part of it, is more developed.
Oh, from the stress.
From the stress. They tend to remain violent because the thinking is hijacked by the amphibian brain. So how this inner environment changes everything, and credits to Bruce Lipton for bringing such a complex study and made it very simple to understand. Through meditation, we can change our attitude. And it's not just the attitude of mother, because when we go further, it is not just sympathetic or parasympathetic system. It is not just stress hormones or neurotransmitters, but it's also the energy field that's all around you. And that energy field, you cannot just create it just like that. Either it's there with you or not there with you. It's like a balloon that is enveloping you all the time. You can see the aura of a person who is meditating, an aura of a person who is not meditating. And based on that, Indian systems have developed sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic types of individuals. And all the multiple infinite combination that arises by combining these three attributes. And you can see the aura of all this. So different. So it's a fascinating. And my upcoming book, I hope we will be able to release it in United States, is Wisdom Bridge, which is already here.
I saw this.
You must read that. I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
To me, it's, personally speaking, it's a lot better than spiritual anatomy.
Why do you say that?
Spiritual anatomy is for selected few who are into esoteric things in life, wildlife, Wisdom Bridge is all about day-to-day life. Covers the entire spectrum of humanity. To me, it's all about how we build the bridge between generations. The old generation, my father's generation, to myself and to my children, the whole continuum. And the idea arose of writing this book because some stories from Brazil that I come to you. But one of my friend's daughter was visiting me in 2012. So I asked her, usual question. Indians, they like to go into personal lives, much like Jewish people. You're a Jewish lady. What's your surname?
Cohen.
Cohen. Okay, good. Then I don't need proof. Yeah. When are you getting married? I asked her. She said, I have time. And how old are you now? She said, I'm 26 or so. When will you get married? She said, I'll get married when I'm 31, 32. I said, fine. Then I casually asked her a question, whom do you like the most in your family? She said, my grandma. The next natural question to me was, would your children have grandma left? Why are you robbing them from having grandmother? Because by the time you'll have a child and they have their children, your mother may not be alive. And then I asked her, what did you learn from your grandmother? She said, so many things. I said, look, your grandchildren will miss out all these things. So the bridge, the wisdom that we learn from grandparents, that bridge is broken. It's breaking in many families. And because of that, we don't know how to sit, you don't even know how to talk, how to communicate. The subtle aspects of life is missing altogether. Then based on that, I shared with her a story from Brazil, Amazonian forests. That one shaman, the medicine man or elderly person passes, and with him dies thousands of years of encyclopedia. Because they are the living encyclopedias carrying knowledge of which tree is good for what, when to harvest, what to plant. General knowledge, medicinal knowledge, they carry it with them. Youth today, that part of the world, they are migrating to the cities. So there's a vacuum, that knowledge is not passed on. And so I told her, look, you are kind of not serving your children properly or grandchildren properly. And imagine for one, the best eggs that you can gift is when you are in around 20s. Right? After that, it's a decline. Though some may conceive, but the quality will be different. You are not giving the best genetic pool. Second thing, when you deliver a child when you're 33, 34, 35, when that child turns teenager, his hormones would be boiling, or her boil, teenage times.
Sure.
And you will be undergoing menopause. The whole house will be rocking. The entire house will be in trouble. So why are you doing this knowingly? And you will not be able to peacefully convince your teenage child, because you are also irritated, they are also irritated, and they don't get the right guidance at the right time. So there is a lot of wisdom behind timing of marriage, delivery of children, the kinds of attitude one should have at the moment of conception. All those things are there. So to me, I find it fascinating. But then, my advisors, they say, this book is not good for US. But to me, I find it better. Even if people don't, even if it doesn't, circulate more than spiritual anatomy, those who learn this book will change their life.
When you think about that, like you said, that sort of chain of wisdom. And when you were speaking, I was thinking about my grandmother and all I learned from her and how lucky I was to, have her for so many years. So this is the last question that I had planned. And you're the perfect person to answer it, not only because of you're a master here, but also because you lived in the US for so long. What is it about India that has such a spiritual heart? I mean, there have been so much wisdom here that we don't have in the US. Do you think there's something special about
I think every country had some unique signature to it. Every country. You think of Indians in US, right? They have a different mindset. The heart feels differently. When you talk of Italians, right? You talk of Jewish people, you talk of French, Britishers, communist people, Chinese people, everyone has a special signature. Right? United States, it's a great land for opportunities. It is still there. It is very much intact. And it's very progressive in nature. If you can't make it in United States, you cannot make it anywhere else. That's my conclusion as of now. In France, Italy, it's a place of fashion, design, creativity, music. Hungary is a place of music to me. I think Western classical they're the champions. Jewish people, by and large, they're music maestros. Mm-hmm. Hilarious people, by and large, I have seen them to be. Indians, that way, they're more introvert. And that keeps them busy seeking. And that's how they keep on retaining. And to define India is very difficult. Very complex, very complex. But one common thing is they're all seeking. They're all seekers for the truth. They no doubt exist in this world. Most of them, they feel that, yes, but there is something more to it than just being here. This is common amongst all. So I think it has its aggregate impact. How the aggregate of humanity, things in one particular place, creates that environment, right? Like when you go to a synagogue, go to a crematorium, go to a hospital, you have different moods, so, in each location. Why? Because the vibrations created there are different. People who visit such places, they come with similar thoughts, similar feelings, and that creates that aura, the vibration, the field. And same thing happens with the energy field of a country. Mm-hmm. And the egregore. You think of India, think of Pakistan. Once upon a time, they were one. Now you see the egregore impact. Over the years, their activities have created a different energy field. India has a different energy field. So how we behave, think, and act creates energy field and affects each other. My hand, for example, I was just sharing this at dinner. Is it different from myself? Can my legs declare and say, I will not walk for you? Because we are all one, you see. But we don't think that we are one. But we are all connected somehow. And this disconnect is the problem. Oh, so-and-so is. And precisely so. They have created their identity in such a way that either people will love you or people will hate you. The India, I would say, is it's a product of many, many, many millennia. People 10,000 years, 15,000 years back, they were looking for God, seeking God, trying to realize what godliness is all about. And same is the situation now. Nothing has changed as far as that aspect is concerned. External life goes on. But the inner essence is this, trying to experience the ultimate.
And that draws seekers from all over the world, I feel like. I was reading earlier today about Ram Dass and, that he was a Harvard professor and then he came to India and he had, and so it's like, that's what made me want to ask this question. Like there's some energy, like you said, it's the energy field. There's the energy here that draws seekers from everywhere.
Why so many Indians, they would love to go to US. They want to make money. Right? They see that field is there, the field is ready, the system is ready for it. You go to Italy, you go to France to learn fashion.
And to eat.
Yes. Well, we have better food than any other country in the world, so we don't go for food though. Yeah. India, if you go all 365 days, you will never repeat even one dish.
This is my new goal.
Because every part has a different cuisine. Every city has a different cuisine. So here is the one for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
What's your first name?
Sandy.
Sandy, okay.
I really treasure it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I just want to thank you again for your time and for the pleasure of speaking with you. Thank you so
Sandy.
much.
Thank you.
It's been a real honor. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's very simple, I think. It's very simple.